I was going to ask if your commute to work is getting better or worse, but I think I know the answer. Let's find out how bad it is throughout this morning. We've had three of our reporters. It's Hedi Giokos, Dasen, Thathiah, and Nobesuthu, Hejana, taking part in something of a three-way race. Let's try and find out where we are for the last hour on the show. Let's go to Hedi Giokos first. Hello, Heidi. You're in Gauteng. It's a bit of an extreme sport driving around our province at the moment. While you tell me where you are and if you think you're still going to win this, talk to me about potholes and traffic lights that aren't working. Good morning.
Good morning. I don't think I'm going to win. I believe that my colleagues have already made it to work. I'm literally around the corner from our offices in Hyde Park. But I just want to emphasize, Gareth, how it's taken me actually exactly 2 hours to travel less than 30 kilometers to work. We left at about 6:30 this morning from Protea Glen in Soweto. And we were stuck in quite serious traffic this morning on the M1 South, which is a very common highway, of course, to get to the inner city and to the north, where a lot of people are working. And of course, we did see a lot of congestion. We also saw an accident or two, but we also did see JMPD, making sure that they try and control whatever traffic congestion that there is. I think what's saved me and what's helped the trip be only 2 hours is the fact that we were actually, we didn't have serious load shedding, especially driving here closer to work. And I've just pulled up to eNCA offices. It's taken me exactly 2 hours to get to the office. I really thought I was going to win, but unfortunately I have not won.
No, it looks like you could be in second place, Heidi. It looks like you could be in second place at the moment. Heidi, I might come back to you in a second. Heidi, I'm going to give you second place. I'll tell you why. Nobesuthu is already out of her car, but I'm going to go to her last. Dasen, Thathiah, you get the wooden spoon, it looks like, for this morning. Unless you've arrived at the office, I don't know. You are smiling far too much for someone who's been stuck in traffic in Durban. But you don't really get traffic in Durban, do you? How were the roads? What were road conditions like?
Well, you know what? I think it could have been a lot worse. Load shedding would have exacerbated the situation for us. We did see traffic lights that were out, but I don't think it was load shedding. I think that was just some of the usual faults. Let me also at this point say that I am outside the office. I just arrived and I was wanting to shake my head and say, no, Heidi, I got you first. I was traveling inside the office park, so technically I think that's a win. We're now just in the parking, so we're gonna fight that one out. But generally, the road conditions on that trip from Umlazi, from the south, coming into the north, is, look, it's not great because of the road condition on the M4 in particular. I was saying at the time in the earlier crossing that there were two options. You could take the N2, but there's roadworks that's currently underway there, and the other option is going in through the CBD, and that's where you get a bit of traffic. So I still think it could have been a lot worse than it was today. I also have a slight confession. You know, earlier I was complaining that there was no food in the car. I think my colleague Kolani did here, and I must admit we did stop for 5 minutes to get a quick coffee. So I could have won, but I let Nobesuthu take this one.
Yeah, it sounds like a typical Manchester United supporter as well. That's something that I would say. Could have, would have, should have, maybe if things were different. As the arbiter in all of this between Cindy Mabi and I, the reason I'm giving it to Nobesuthu is, Heidi, you're still in your car. Dasen, you're still in your car, so you can't prove you're actually at the office. No, Heidi, you can't get out now. No, too late. Nobesuthu, you are out the car. It looks like you've had a coffee and an English breakfast already. Tell me about your trip. Well done. I think you are the winner on this one. How long have you been standing outside the car, and what were conditions like?
I mean, I've been waiting here for almost like 20 minutes for my colleagues to get to the office, or at least somewhere close to the office. But my route, it took me about an hour and 10 minutes, if not 15. And we did experience about a bit of traffic or congestion in the areas like Kraaifontein, Okovango, as well as the Monte Vista side, getting to the N1. But driving from the Century City side and to the office, it was smooth. The traffic was flowing. We did not experience any issues with regards to the traffic lights not working, but there were areas along the N1 that were load shedded, but it did not affect traffic lights, as we do know that the city of Cape Town, it does have that provision in some areas where when there's load shedding, the traffic lights are operating to ensure that there's not congestion in the traffic. Lights are operating and people can at least get to their places of work or their destinations. But I mean, I've been hearing a lot of complaints from my colleagues that we stopped for 5 minutes, we did this, we did that. I mean, come on, guys. Heidi said it earlier that she was going to take it, and I did not say anything because I knew that we were going to take it. But we're here outside the office. Dasen, come on, Dasen. You said you were going to make us cry, but I think you're the one who's crying at this point.
Dasen, Thathiah, Hedi Giokos, you've let us down. I'll tell you why, because I think we've smashed the cliche of that Cape Town have the slowest drivers. Clearly, that's not the case. So to Hedi Giokos, Dasen, Thathiah, Nobesuthu, Hejana, with her hands up in the air, she's won this. So Faith Daniels hasn't told them yet, but next week we're going to get them on bicycles to try and ride the same distance, see if it still takes them 2 hours to cover 30-odd kilometers. Get some winter cycling gear and a helmet, because next week you're on a bicycle. Well done to all of you, Heidi, Nobesuthu, and Dasen. I'm afraid I'm going to give it to Nobesuthu. Dasen and Heidi, I'll let you fight that out. Don't know who got there first. Cheers, everyone. Thanks for the time this morning and joining us. So we're having a bit of fun with it, of course, but it's to give you a sense. I think especially Heidi, 2 hours to travel some 30-odd kilometers. Just frightening. Welcome to Joburg.